Hello my friends, let's start this one from the Frontlines update. It's always nice to see the blue color on the Ukrainian war map. So now we have the confirmation, and it is better even than you see on the maps, that Ukraine liberated fully Novomikhailivka village with a recent counterattack. And all the strikes of the Russian army with artillery and drones were not capable to stop Ukrainian army advancement. So all of the village was liberated. It's kind of a tiny one, but it is located on very important road, which leads to the other road and to the other road which Russia uses for supply. So why am I so sure that Ukraine was capable to liberate it? Well, we have the video evidence. So here we go with the village, or what is left from it, and there is the Ukrainian soldiers of the 3rd Corps. Yeah, before it was the 3rd Assault Brigade, but now it is the 3rd Army Corps of Ukrainian Army. After all, there are several of the reforms happening in the Ukrainian Army, and I'm very happy about it. In this video, our soldiers shared how they operated in this region, and later on they were capable even to imprison Russian soldiers. They took them out using vehicle. So absolutely great, fantastic news coming from here, and Ukraine is also pushing in Grekivka. Well, here no changes for the last 24 hours, nevertheless, Ukraine recently was successful there. And guys, I'm still waiting for the update from the Deep State military map source. If they update the map, I will share it with you. But here, unfortunately, we have yesterday's map, so I have to refer to the other analytics, like, for example, my Center 3, who publishes what is happening out there on the front lines as well. Well, today, Ukrainian Commander Syrsky opened some of the details of the Ukrainian operation in Mirnograd. Mirnograd is the very hot direction for Ukrainian army, and not a long time ago, Ukraine advanced towards Smyrna. For now, we judge it as the gray area. But nevertheless, our guys on the ground said about successful Ukrainian army movement, and judging on what videos Russians filmed recently in Myrna, they are in a very deep So here I do expect good news, but the most interesting point is here in Rodinske, where Russia recently advanced. And I don't think really that they expanded this far away. Well, maybe with some of the small sabotage group, but it's not a significant force out here. It's the gray area, partially confirmed Russian movement, but it's not significant for now. So Rodinske is very important for Ukraine. And I would say it's better to cut this entire Russian assault vector near Chervony Liman and in Suhetsk and Zatishok as well, because Russia keeps this bridgehead under control, and in the future they may advance towards Rodinske. If they take Rodinske, Mirnograd is doomed. And we have this map from another analytic. I think I showed you this image yesterday, and now the situation is like that, not far away from Myrna, and Ukrainian forces even propelled further, expanding this bridgehead in Nikolaevka village. Several of the Ukrainian brigades are operating in this place. Also, Syrsky mentioned the liberation of several of the villages in Kamar direction. For example, Zeleny High and Tolstoy were liberated. And judging on those multiple Ukrainian counterattacks all along the front lines, well, there is just one point where Ukraine was forced to retreat recently, but in general, the Russian summer offensive has been failed already, and it's the end of summer, as you may understand. So Russia has how many? 6 days to conquer entire Donbass. That is what Putin promised to Donald Trump. Yeah. Well, still there's gonna be the warm weather in September, October, but yeah, it's not enough for Russia, as we understand. So they failed campaign of 2025 entirely, I would say, and I don't think that they may advance fast during the winter time. So late spring, summer and early autumn is the usual time for this geographical part for the fast army movement. I might judge it also analyzing situation on the front lines during the Second World War. But you know, back then people say that winters were more colder than they are right now. Well, those are the recent changes in Pokrov's direction. As you see, Ukraine gains the ground elsewhere. Myrna village, counterattack from Dobropilya by Azov forces, and here 93rd Brigade encircled Russians. I think they are already gone here. I saw in different maps that they do not draw it any longer. Well, if Russians still in the forest patch, they're just doomed. Well, in Pokrovsk, Ukraine also kicked out Russian sabotage groups. That's it. Guys, there was the exchange of the Ukrainian prisoners of war, and Vladimir Mikolaenko was returned back to Ukraine. He used to be the mayor of Kherson, and Kherson was occupied by Russians. Russians tried to force him for cooperation, but instead Vladimir told them to They tried to film some of the propaganda video with him, where he said openly that occupation is illegal, that it is Ukraine and will be Ukraine. And I'm so happy that Kherson itself was returned back, and finally Vladimir also returned. But just look at this picture. He spent 3.5 years in Russian custody. It seems like he got older by 20 years. That is how Russia behaves towards Ukrainian civilians. They don't care if it's a mayor of the big city or small city, or it's just civilian or military. I would say you more, they treat their own army as shit. And yeah, this photo is not a Photoshop, because before there were some of the photos of Ukrainian prisoners of war which were Photoshop. I think it was coming from the Russian side to show that everything of that is hoax, they look different. Now, in this case, it is like that in real life. Alright, Ukraine is launching a new strike towards Russian facilities, even towards Crimea, Krasnodarsky Krai, as usual, Kursk, Bryansk, Belgorod Oblast, Tula, Moscow region. Could be interesting news coming in the morning.
But it's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question, Mr. Foreign Minister. Do you acknowledge Russia invaded Ukraine?
I said to you that we started special military operation to protect the people whom the regime declared terrorists and enemies, and whom the regime was...
How can you speak like that if you are a foreign minister for so many years, Lavrov? Probably good old Soviet school, and they started a special military operation, but in their interviews, Putin included, they tell about war, but even Russians themselves, like casual Russians, they cannot say the word war. For them, it's also special military operation. If they say war, they get jailed. And of course, it was not started to protect the Ukrainian people, it's just imperialistic Russia, which wants to gain more territories. Yeah, with people, but people will be used for further wars. OCR is screaming, stop attacking our energy security, this is not our war. Heta, what happened? Why are you butt farting? What is wrong? Ukraine doesn't attack Hungary, it's the Russian infrastructure on the Russian territory. Have you paid for that pipeline, oil pump station? I don't think so. Here is the Ukrainian foreign minister. By the way, he also speaks similar to Lavrov. I don't know why, but maybe also Soviets. I will reply in Hungarian manner. You don't need to tell the Ukrainian president what to do or say, and when he is the president of Ukraine, not Hungary. And yeah, Ukraine is not attacking Hungary. It's the Russian territory. Russia started the war against Ukraine, so everything there, all of the infrastructure, military bases, are the legal targets for Ukrainian military. And if Hungary wants really to stay out of war, they need to change their policy.
This is how wars ultimately get settled. If you go back to World War II, if you go back to World War I, if you go back to every major conflict in human history, they all end with some kind of negotiation.
What the f*** he's talking about? Don't look at me, turn away. Oh, Vance is so incompetent. Just look at the history book, any sort of school book even. Damn, how the Second World War finished? Was it a negotiation? Certainly not. Allies bombed the hell out of Germany, invading it with its own armies, cancelling Hitler completely and his regime. Japan was almost freaking destroyed with those aerial bombs, and USA, you dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan, and you said about negotiations. What I want to say, guys, is this guy has no brain. Even though he looks like me just a little, but it's coincidence, guys. It's one of those cases then visual representation is totally different compared to shitty insides. American politics continue to be as arrogant as possible because they're not competent themselves. They're just for show, Alright, we have the first official information from Ukrainian defense minister that Ukraine received those sub airplanes. Well, actually they're called ASC-890 AVAX aircraft, so Ukraine has 2 of them, I guess, at least. Ukrainian defense minister thanked to Swedish side for transferring those machines. Time for the funny videos. There will be some of the subtitles here. I took it from the Torchline Telegram channel. They put everything in English, so it could be funny.
Таких военкомат присылает на войну. Автомат не может перезарядить.
This guy cannot reload.
Элементарное движение.
Elementary move, he said. Come on, come on, come on.
Давай.
Напряжение. Сука, давай, блядь. Он
What is he doing?
все-таки палец, контроль пальца, блядь. Сейчас ебу по пальцу. Контроль пальца, блядь.
здесь.
Oh my god.
Ой, сука, он тебя, блядь, получится, блядь. Ой, блядь.
They're making fun of him. No, he went to the Russian army signing the contract. Yeah, for sure, because he's not that young after all. He's young, but not that much.
Двумя руками можно, блядь. Можно двумя, тремя даже.
He said use 3 hands if you can.
Твой военкомат нас присылает, нахуй. Лишь бы...
Пробуй. Пробуй. Форд, давай. Ну, с другой стороны, значит, снизу пусти руку.
Форд, ты с
Нельзя
откуда?
руку менять.
Вот с
Коляну
Перми, блядь.
привет передашь.
Пермячи, передавайте привет. Вот такие.
Через низ пусти ручку свою.
Куда,
попробуй.
блядь, контроль пальца, сука, нахуй.
Попробуй вот так вот поставить его.
Oh my god. Maybe he needs to reload the magazine, remove it completely, and then...
Пальцем попробуй.
Oh shit, this is painful to
А у меня
watch.
палец сейчас сломается.
Yeah.
Сука.
Where those mighty Russian soldiers, then Russian army really needs them. They cannot recharge freaking Kalashnikov, which is kind of strange, because I did it, then I was a schoolboy. Okay, I shared it on my today's stream, and by the way, thank you guys for visiting me on stream. Well, here is the convoy of the Russian trucks. It says Огнеопасно, so it's flammable, but what's inside, it's hard to tell. And they're running out of their own diesel, so maybe they transport benzene or maybe jet fuel. It is far east of Russia. They all stuck because they don't have diesel fuel to move further. And it's all because of the Ukrainian strikes on the Russian oil refineries. Yerevan. So it's Gyumri base, actually, Russian base. And here you can see MiG-29, Russian fighter jet. It's stuck somewhere near the house. At first I thought that it skirted the runway at the landing or something, but you see the cover on the canopy, plus pitot is covered and everything, so it was transported actually. And this CCTV camera tells us more. Basically, there is the plane, you may see it on your... It pulls back, yeah, it's stuck, the image stuck, but it shows us something at least. And this guy, he ran to hold the plane from dropping, but he is not a superhero, and yeah, plane just stuck there. And guys, this is probably the craziest I have seen since the start of the war. Oh my god. So there is the resident, local resident of Donetsk region, and he caught the Russian drone. He dropped it over. Yeah, he dropped the drone over, and he went to dismantle it. You see, the drone is there, it's still running, engines are working. And what he decided to do, there's the shell, it disassembled, you see? RPG shell or something like that. See, he grabs the shell. So, and the drone is working, like it's moving. Propellers are working, and he torn it apart. And those are our guys filming everything of this. Drone is smoking already. Like the drone is not okay. The shell was removed. Like, oh my god, guys. This individual, I don't know who is he, but he should purchase some of the lottery tickets. It is the total neglectness of the safety or any sort of the logic procedures. He freaking captured the Russian drone. Freaking capture and destroy, torn it apart. This is unbelievable. He nearly won the Darwin Award. Somehow drone didn't kaboom. But never ever do this stuff if you see the drone sometime in your life. Don't touch it. You know, there was the case 1 month ago or something. I saw it on video of how one of the locals captured the drone. He put it to his bicycle and drone blasted apart, flatlining the guy and his bicycle. So then I see those kind of the videos. It's too much. As usual, many thanks for my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys for maintaining my motivation to film more of the videos. And for everyone, thank you so much as well for your likes, views. You mean a lot to me. And I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.